Hey there, comic book friends and fiends. It's Rob here in front of the Great Wall of Comics. Today, Thursday, Only My Slabs. We go through a baker's dozen. Let's get into it. All right, we've got ourselves, oh, man, those are heavy. A nice half dozen, baker's dozen of CBCS slabs to go through on today's episode of Only My Slabs. Only My Slabs is the show where each week on Thursday, we take about a dozen of the graded books that make up my 1,200 plus comic book collection, graded comic book collection, and we share them with you. We go through them. We talk about them. What's cool about them? What are they? What do I have graded? We find out the highs, we find out the lows, and we find out the uh-ohs along the way, as well as some pretty darn cool books in there. So we'll just get into it. This week's episode has a good mix again of a lot of these retailer incentives from early 2021, I believe, and then we're going to get into some other modern and maybe some late copper stuff. Anyways, first up out of the gate, Joker issue number 1. This is the 1 in 25 Federici retailer incentive. So again, these pencil works, I'm a sucker for pencil work, sketch covers. I think they look phenomenal. These Federici ones were great. So now this is also the first appearance of Chrysidia. I don't remember who Chrysidia is, but it's her first appearance. Next up, another Federici cover. Bang, Joker issue number 2. We've got Punchline featuring on the cover. Now, I've talked about this. I do like the character Punchline. Punchline's a little bit of a divisive character, and I think some people dislike her just because there was a lot of hype around her, and she hasn't done a ton of stuff just yet. And that's a fair criticism. There was a lot of characters like that. But I think she has a little more staying power. And the other criticisms, there are some people who thought, oh, they brought her in to be Joker's girlfriend. Well, they presented her as such, but that's not really what her character is about. Her character is a college student who is enamored by the Joker and his idea of anarchy, but she really wants to ultimately go about doing that in a new way, using the tools of the millennial and the Gen Z, the social media stuff. Whereas the Joker really has become fixated on Batman, in her opinion. Anyways, this is the first appearance of Vengeance and Aiden Priest. So Vengeance, which is of course the daughter of Bane. That's the 1 in 25. And then for that Joker number 2, there was a surprise 1 in 50 variant, I believe it was, in that they didn't tell the stores it was going to be available, and it became available. So first appearance of Vengeance and Aiden Priest, yeah. So this book was, for a while, this was like super big. Of course, first cover appearance of Vengeance. You get also on the backside too, the 1 in 50. Back at this one here, Joker issue number 3. So we had a run of these, and here we got Commissioner Gordon on the cover. And yeah, no key, just notes that say Commissioner Gordon and all these other people show up in the story. I don't even remember who this character is supposed to be. If you know who he is, sound off down below. I can't remember. I want to think that. Is it supposed to be Mr. Freeze? Maybe it is. Mr. Freeze does make an appearance in this one. It makes the most sense that that's a Mr. Freeze cover. Huh. I know I'm not telling much of a story on these. I'll tell you what's happened with these is I just collected them all. The 1 in 25s came out. These came out right after we had done the ones with the design variants that were done for Batman. And then this series of 1 in 25 spanned multiple issues. Here we've got Robin #1. This is with doing the whole Lazarus fighting pit stuff. So this is oh God, what's the girl's name? Who's Flatline. First appearance of Flatline. So we get Flatline on the cover, who is an interesting character in of her own right. Kind of the ability to learn, adapt, and kill people. Kills Robin. He comes back. He gets better. Anywho, she's kind of fun the way she shows up in Robin. Of course, Damian Wayne Robin is kind of smitten for her. But they did these 1 in 25s across a variety of books. So I ended up getting the whole set of them, but that meant I ended up picking up a couple books that I didn't even care about to get the series. It just became, oh, I've got to get them all type of thing. And that's something that even when you know better, I think happens to a lot of collectors sometimes. You get, ooh, I've got to get them all. And you just go do. Nothing special. Sometimes you end up with them later and you go, why did I do this? Oh well, I did. That's all that matters. All right. Let's change it up. Let's change up the gears. Here we go. This is Bronze Age. December 1976, we get the launch of a second Spider-Man book ongoing. We get Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man, first issue collector's edition by popular demand. Spidey stars in an all-new section series. Of course, we got the Tarantula coming at everybody here. Issue number 1 in a 9.6 white pager. Tarantula, it's funny, is Chris and I were just having a conversation about the Tarantula and how he used to be a really cool character, and then more recently he's just kind of been meh. But this cover, very reminiscent of, I believe it's his first appearance. He has a similar type of strike and attack going at Spider-Man, except at that time Spider-Man's like on a water cooler or something. Instead of on a brick wall. But I guess when your whole thing is you got these pointed spear feet, I guess you attack a certain way. Another spider character. How about Spider-Gwen Ghost Spider? This is issue number 1. This is the retailer incentive. This is the 1 in 25. Now this is the 2018. So this would be the third ongoing series featuring Spider-Gwen, I believe. So if you don't know, she is a drummer in the band called the Mary Janes at this point in her universe. So cool cover. That is Paulo Rivera doing the art on that one. This was the Spider-Verse #1. This is the Walmart variant. First appearance of Spider-Zero. Uh, I don't really remember that character doing anything or whatever else, but this book, this Walmart variant, this became like a hot book. I mean, that's why I ended up grading it, because for a while it was north of $150. So, but then I didn't do anything with it as I usually do. I just sit on it and don't sell it, because I'm not a speculator, and I don't sell these things. I just collect them. And then I end up with that. And then later on, we sit there and we do a show about our slabs, and people go, why the hell does he have that graded? Here we are. But this one, now this is the quintessential book of the 90s. If you collected comics in the 90s, chances are you went and picked this one up because it reminded you of that time. And it was a pleasant time. And that was a time when Venom was Eddie Brock, and he was still sort of just becoming an anti-hero. But this cover was so cool. The hollow foil in the background, Venom just up in front and center. This is just a great cover, classic cover, beautiful piece. A book that I tried many times to get in a 9.8. I never went out to buy it in a 9.8. I always went, like, I wanted to get it naturally. And it was never a book that I was able to get naturally very easily. And then recently I've managed to get a couple. And so now I have a couple 9.8s of it, which is cool. But yeah. Disappointed. I just recently found out that Sam De La Rosa, who this is like his claim to fame, for the most part, is this book. He charges extra to sign this book, which is about the only book anybody ever has him sign, probably. And then it charges double extra if you bring him a gold or black variant. Disappointing. All right, next up, we've got a, did I show this last week? I'm thinking I showed this last week. I don't know. Venom #1, Big Time Collectibles. This is part of a print run of 300 graded books, all in a 9.8. I honestly do. I think I'm repeating myself on this books here, because we had a conversation about 300. It's a limited print run of 300, but all 300 are 9.8s. So there's 300 9.8s running around out there. Not really all that special after all, is it? All right. Well, this one I know I didn't show. That is X-Men Legends. We got some J. Scott Campbell. Goodness there. We got Storm. How is it that I'm repeating books from one week to the next? I don't go in order. I go in a sequence. We can't. There you go. X-Men Legends #1. Again, this is the E cover. So the A cover previously and the E cover. Polaris and Banshee on this one here. I'm not an X-Men guy, but I love J. Scott Campbell, and I think Storm, my wife loves Storm, and I like Polaris. So there we go. That's it. No more. We came, we saw, we apparently repeated. Good thing we're done with this box. We go to a whole new box next week. No repeats for sure. Until next time, collect what you want. Don't listen to anyone, especially this dum-dum. I'm just a fat man with a fat stack of comics and a fat opinion. Thanks for watching.